Hey guys, Austin Zulauf here from Lexington, Kentucky, and I wanted to take a moment on this beautiful day to speak with you a little bit about something that's very, very important, especially if you're in the process of building a network or building a business. If your business depends on recruiting, then you definitely want to hear what I have to say today. I'm going to talk about two main topics real quick. One is the proper way to build relationships, whether it be online or offline. And the biggest key I can get into before I break it down for you is have a sincere interest in the person that you're talking to. A lot of people can sense if you're being fake or not, and you should be sincere anyway since you're in the people business. If you're in the people business, you know, it really is advantageous that you actually give a darn, you know, for sure. But the second topic that I want to talk about is how to not take people's reactions to heart. Whenever you first get involved in network marketing or business building, you're going to be bad before you're good, and you're going to be good before you're great. So whenever you're going through that bad period, just realize that you might not do everything the right way or the most effective way, and through trial and error and becoming a student of your profession, you're going to get better. So just give it time. There's usually about a year learning curve. One thing that really helped me out was the book My First Year in Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell. He made well over $30 million before he wrote that book in the field of network marketing, so he's very qualified to speak on it. So the first thing I'm going to get involved in speaking with you about is how to not take people's reactions to what you're saying to heart, because sometimes we might not know what to say, how to say it, which I'm going to get to that here in just a minute, how to properly build relationships and get to the presentation part. So one big key, and you might want to write this down. There will be a test on it here in a little bit. It's called life. The first key is know your batting average. Okay, so keep track of how many presentations that you've given. And out of 10 presentations, how many people got in your business? And I'm not talking about talking to 10 people. Get 10 people in front of the information. You might even find out your batting average for how many people you've got to talk to get one person in front of your information. So it's really important that you know. Because if you know in advance that for every 10 people that you talk to, one gets in your business, then you know you don't have to get frustrated. Talk to 10, get one. Talk to 10, get one. Good news is, over time, you talk to 10, you get 2. Now, why might you get 2? Because you're getting better. And who can get better? Anybody. Talk to 10, get 2. Sooner or later, you talk to 10, you get 3. Now, any more than 3, you have to just be, you know, some sort of a genius and just very, very good, very skilled, and a true professional at your craft. You know, so if you talk to 10 and you get 3, cool thing is, you talk to 10 more, chances are you'll get another 3. So, you know, don't worry about getting frustrated, just go talk to 10 more. The next thing that I might tell you is become a professional sorter. And what I mean by become a professional sorter is you want to have a minimum of 20 people in your funnel at all times. At all times. And don't make your minimum your maximum. Have a minimum of 20. That way, you know, you're going throughout your day, you're saying, you know, I'm talking to this person, they said no, they said no, they said no, they said yes, awesome, next, that. So you're going through your day, and you've got at least 20 people that you made contact with, and you've gotten them at least their first exposure, and hopefully you've gotten them on a 3-way call with somebody to show your support system, and that third-party validation on 3-way call just means the world. So hopefully you have a minimum of 20 people at all times that you've made contact with. Really, you want about 50 or 60, okay? And you have this list constantly. So if someone tells you no, you know, I don't really care. You know, you've got 20, 30, 40 other people that you think may get in any time now. So always have 20 or more. And don't make your minimum your maximum. So now I get a lot of people asking me, where do I find these people that I talk to? Well, there's over 8 billion people on the planet. So a few good places is, well, if you're online, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, meetup.com is awesome for meeting people locally. EmpireAvenue.com, I love that site. That's been a great resource for me. So if you're online, there's a ton of places. And if you're offline, a lot of people go to Walmart. The cashier at Walmart's probably miserable. Talk to him a little bit. You probably got a second. Your waitress at Olive Garden, I can be in line at Wendy's, and I might talk to the person next to me. Remember, the key word in network marketing is network. And it's not net play, it's work, network marketing. So just get out there and meet people, and don't be afraid of hearing no. Don't be afraid of rejection. Look at your bank account and be afraid of that, okay? Be afraid of failure, So, network marketing, I would probably say the biggest key I can give you is just get out there and network. Another thing that I would have to say is when you're talking to folks, and you might want to write this down, you don't know what they're going through that day. So, key word, be empathetic. Understand that they might have gotten in an argument with their girlfriend or their boyfriend, or their dog might have got run over, whatever the case may be, whatever it is. Just understand that they're not saying no to you, they're saying no to the opportunity. And they might just be saying, not right now. So the only two ways that someone can get out of my phone and out of my funnel is, one, they can join the opportunity, or two, they can die. That's it. That's the only two ways. So just follow up with them, and just as important as how you come off to them is how you leave them. So whenever you get done with the conversation, no matter what happens, smile and say, hey, thanks just the same. I'm going to keep in touch with you. You're a great guy. You're a great gal, whatever the case may be. I've got to get off here and get on a call real quick, but, we'll keep in touch. Okay? So always be smiling. So now hopefully I've given you some good keys on how to not take people's reactions personally. The next thing I'd like to talk about is how to properly build and maintain effective relationships with people. First of all, I'd like to say the first conversation that you have, you want to make sure that you have a good elevator pitch, okay? Meaning a quick 10-second to 30-second explanation of what you do that's designed to pique their interest, to get them asking you more and wanting more information. Okay? So when you talk to somebody, here's an idea of what you might be able to say in the initial exposure of yourself. Because remember, when you just meet them, you're in sales. You're selling yourself. People buy you, not a product, not an opportunity. So your first exposure to them, you're going to sell yourself, your value as a leader, your personality. Okay? You want to establish trust if you can. So one of the first things, and you want them to like you, one of the first things that you're going to say is, compliment them on something. If it's in person, compliment them on their purse, their shirt, whatever the case may be, the way they handle the situation. Online, compliment them on their cover photo on Facebook or their LinkedIn profile connections, or whatever it is you're complimenting them on. Step one. And then step two in this first conversation is ask them a question that allows them to talk about themselves. Okay? Stick to the FORM method. F-O-R-M. Family, occupation, recreation, message. So pick something to talk about. I like to talk about occupation and their hobbies. So, after you compliment them, hey, that's a beautiful family you've got in that cover photo. Hey, what is it that you do for a living? You look successful. So show a sincere interest. And remember, there's 3 reasons why you ask questions in selling. You might want to write this down. 1 is to direct a person's attention. Meaning, whenever you direct someone's attention, you want to call their attention to something that you're going to use later on whenever you're giving your pitch, so to speak. 2 is obtain information. When you obtain information, you want information like how long have they been at their job, what do they not like about their job, or what would they do differently, as far as being able to spend time with the family, whatever the case may be. And the third thing is, the third reason you ask questions in selling is to get a yes answer. You can remember this by DOG. Direct a person's attention, obtain information, get a yes answer. D-O-G. That's the 3 reasons you ask questions in selling. You also want to use humor a little bit in your first exposure, that way they like you. And there's a few reasons you use humor in selling. 1 is it creates a friendly atmosphere. And 2 is it relaxes yourself and your prospect. So you want to definitely use just a little bit of light humor just to relax you and the prospect and create that good atmosphere. Anyway, moving on to the wrapping up the first conversation. At the end of the first conversation, you want to make sure to exchange information if you're offline. Okay? So you might say something to the effect of this. Hey, I'm always networking and making new connections out in the community. Do you have a business card or a good number that I can reach you at so we can finish this conversation later? And whenever you do that, make sure you have your business card on hand. You got to have a card. That way you look the part of a professional. Now, one other thing that you might say is if they've told you what they do for a living, and you've had a while to talk, like if you're on a plane, you have 2, 3, 5 hours, whatever the case may be, you might wrap it up by saying something to the effect of, hey Steve, it's been great chatting with you, and it's awesome that you're a police officer in the Denver area. Do you by any chance know any police officers that could stand to use a little bit of an extra income around your area? And usually whenever you say that, what's the first thing they're going to say? Well, I could use that extra income. And you can say, oh, okay, great. Well, whenever I get back home, I'm going to email you something, and then you can email them your opportunity video, or if you have a DVD on hand of your opportunity, and give it to them, whatever the case may be. You just want to pique their interest, okay? Remember the opportunity, the elevator pitch, because as soon as they ask you what you do, you don't want to tell them. You want to pique their interest further. So here's something that I use as my elevator pitch, okay? If they say, well, what is it that you do for a living? I say, well, I'm glad you asked. I don't mean to brag, but now I'm an international marketing trainer, and I make most of my money online, so I get to enjoy that time freedom. But I started off as a frustrated employee that was looking to fire his boss. So, and with that, I do that little chuckle and all that, because it's fun, because now I get to enjoy a dream life, but I remember when I was working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So your first conversation, I think I pretty much wrapped that up. The second conversation, you want to, let's say you're talking to them on the phone. You want to ask them if it's a good time. You want to be respectful of other people's time. If you're not talking to them on the phone, you don't have to ask if it's a good time. Start by reminding them who you are and reminding them of the first conversation that you had. If you remind them of the first conversation that you had and what was one of the key talking points in that conversation, then it shows that you had a sincere interest and you were actually listening to the things that they said. Now, in addition to that, if you haven't already found out what they do for a living or their hobbies, take the conversation that direction. You need to know what they do for a living and stick to the form method: family, occupation, recreation, message. If you stick to that, by the time you found out about their family, their occupation, what they do for recreation, you know how to deliver your message because they've told you already. That's the beauty of it. The best salespeople, the best networkers, the best recruiters are the best listeners. Remember this, the 3 P's. And you might want to write this down. 1 is peak interest. 2 is pass to a tool, like an opportunity video or a webinar, a training call. And then plug them into the system that you've got. Whether that be, daily conference calls or Monday and Friday, having webinars, whatever the case may be. Plug them into that next part of the system that you've got set up. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is, remember, some will, some won't, so what? Who's next? Keep at least 20 people in your funnel, and remember, the only place you'll find success comes before work is in the dictionary. But in real life, it does take a little bit of work. But the good news is, once you've set it up, and once you've invested more in yourself than you have in anything else, that personal self-development makes a huge difference. Once you become a student of your profession, making you a professional, and you've built some value, and you've gotten out there and you've experienced a little bit. There's nothing that takes the place of experience. Nothing. Once you've built that value, then you're going to start conveying that confidence that you need to be successful. So guys, once again, I thank you for getting on this the video and checking it out. Hopefully, I've added a little bit of value to your day. And the last thing before I sign off here is the third reason you ask questions in selling that get a yes answer. There's something called the Socratic method of logic, and you might want to listen to this a couple times. Is the Socratic method of logic is defined as when you ask a question or a series of questions to which your prospect will readily agree, and then ask a concluding question based on those agreements to get a desirable response. For example, if I was trying to get my daughter to clean her room, I would say, "Hey Kayla, you want to go outside and play with your friends down the street, don't you?" "Yeah." "You want to show them the new Christmas presents and toys that you got, right? You want to take them out and play with your friends, don't you?" "Yes." "Great. Well, since you know that you can't go out until you get your room clean, you want to go ahead and clean your room as quickly as possible so you can go play with your friends, don't you?" Absolutely. So you want to make sure that you use the Socratic method of logic when you can. Once again, guys, thank you so much. Please feel free to connect with me on Facebook. The link to my Facebook account is in the description of this video. I love each and every one of you guys. And this is Austin Zulauf from Lexington, Kentucky, reminding you to go pro, become a professional at your craft. Thanks.